Welcome to the Game Corner, another video game podcast. My name is Harrison. You might know me online as RobKTA, and I'm joined, as always, by friend and co-host
Rowan. You might know me as Mocha. I am so excited for Reg F, and yet instead of playing it, I'm just on my 400th Baldur's Gate hour. So
Okay, we will dive into that because that's very, very important. There is simultaneously a lot and not a lot to talk about this week, I feel.
Well, the DLC was great. It was pretty big.
DLC. Okay, so spoilers. DLC San Antonio Regulation F, kind of, and the goodbye Regulation E. That's all.
We're pretty sure
stuff.
it's Reg F. We don't even technically know yet.
Oh, that's a fair point, isn't it? Ooh, I don't like that.
Yeah, we're kind of just playing an imaginary format in Showdown and praying that it's real.
Right. But yeah, that's all that. How have you been? Okay, actually, before we even dive into that, thank you, Lupus, for stepping in to replace me last week, as I suddenly realized, I can't actually record with Sheldon the way we had planned. So thank you, Lupus. I hope you all enjoyed last week's episode.
The rotating host has been pretty cool, actually. But yeah, honestly, like, apart from life throwing stuff at me recently, I'm just exhausted right now. So yeah,
Sure.
from all the flying and the jet lag. But I definitely want to talk about the DLC because I killed the whole thing on a plane ride, and it was pretty good.
Let's jump into it. I really liked this DLC.
Yeah, I liked it and I hated it at the same time. If that makes any sense.
I wholeheartedly understand and agree. But you tell me why.
Yeah, and I was in some kind of like jet lag, sleep deprived stupor the whole time I played it. So like, grain of salt and all. But like, I think that it makes me think it's the kind of thing that was made by like devs and designers who really cared and wanted to make something really cool, but they just absolutely did not have the time to, and therefore made something like kind of rushed and mid. Like, okay, the story is, it's still not blowing my mind or anything, but it's still way better than 99% of anything Pokemon's put out for story. So that's, like, tick. A bunch of the features are really cool. We didn't talk about how we're going to handle spoilers on this, by the way. I don't know.
Ooh, yeah. Let's see.
You want to do like talk non-spoilers for a while and then
because I definitely want to touch on some definite spoiler things. Maybe we'll do like an A segment for like base DLC stuff.
Let's stay spoiler free for like 20 minutes or so, and then we'll see where we go from that.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, so not to spoil any of the new features or anything, but there are some very cool new mechanics like in the overworld and all that I really like. It's just, at the end of the day, it is still Scarlet and Violet. They promised us is a strong word. They didn't technically on purpose, of course, but like, they strongly hinted that the DLC was going to be where they'd address a bunch of the performance problems in the game, and that did not happen. It is worse than it's ever been because this is like, it's more ambitious, I guess. Like, but I saw the game, like, it goes beyond just like low frame rate. The game kind of like seized up, and I'm on an OLED Switch too. This is not
okay, that's true.
Hardware thing.
I was gonna say I don't know that it's worse. I think we just see more of it because of how the terrarium is like laid out and everything.
The new map is massive, and like, you can see a whole ton at once. It's probably doing a bunch of draw distance stuff, and like, the fact that this game has this issue where, at least supposedly, I've never seen any source code for it, but like, supposedly it's keeping a huge amount of the world, if not the whole world, in memory at any given point, right? So this massive new map they've added is probably just the map you're on, probably not like the main Paldea or Kitakami, but like, god, it chugs, and sometimes the game just like kind of shakes. Like, the camera shakes while it's trying to, I don't even know what it's trying to do. I could not give you a reasonable technical explanation for what's going wrong.
I have experienced that. I've experienced like some really weird stutter. Yeah, like you kind of mentioned that. But I think it hasn't happened too often, and I've finished the DLC entirely.
Well, I wouldn't say often, but enough. Again, I played the whole thing in a single 9-hour plane ride, and by that I mean I finished it in the first half of the plane ride. Sure. And like, I saw it I noticed it several times from beginning to end too. It wasn't just like in one random part of the game. It was just a omnipresent, like, every so often you're going to see the game freak out a little bit.
Yes. So yeah, I definitely experienced that. And then like you said, the draw distance and the stuff there, you really see how it's trying to be optimized, but clearly is still struggling in ways
Like,
it just shouldn't be.
the only like optimization I see that they're doing is like pop in, and that's the worst thing. That's like
Yes.
the only reason you should have far draw distance is because I want to see the stuff far away, and I definitely do want to see the Pokemon that are far away. Like, it already looks so bad. At least you could make it so I can see Pokemon that are a little farther away, because all of the I guess I don't think this is a spoiler, all the BBQs, which will mean nothing to you if you haven't played the game yet, involve a lot of looking for specific Pokemon. And
Yes.
as I'm zooming around, I would really like to be able to see that specific Pokemon before I get close enough to smell it, right? Like,
Well, so that's like my biggest complaint is it's not a spoiler because like they showed it off in trailers, but you can fly, right?
okay, great. That was what I was trying to keep secret. But if we're just saying that, then yeah, you
I
can
think
just
so.
flat out fully fly. Like, not even. I was expecting some kind of like limited resource for flying, but no, you can just stay in the air indefinitely. It's actually pretty, like, I didn't expect that degree of freedom from them. Like, that was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, yeah,
And I do really enjoy that experience of flying around. And like, when it does like render, there was this cool clip someone posted of like flying over a hill, and then you saw like a horde of Donphan like spinning
Oh, cool.
as they run
okay.
under you, and that's like kind of the dream of an open world Pokemon game, right? Like, you're zooming across, and then you see like the random wild ones like doing what they're doing in like their habitat, and like actually not just sitting there and staring into the abyss.
If you go any bit of altitude, they just disappear.
Exactly. Yeah. No. So like that video was made very intentionally. Like, they were kind of, because if you touch the ground, you will land and then lose all your momentum, right? So it's generally safer to stay higher up. And this person was being very careful to like maintain altitude just a little bit above the ground, so you could like get the effect and the speed without losing everything in the world.
I might try that after this call because that sounds really fun to do. Actually, I flew over Paldea. So not you get flying after you beat the DLC. All right. I will just say that to keep it spoiler free. I guess
When me and Mike were doing BBQs, I think you were the one who hadn't beaten the game yet, right?
Beaten the game.
So Mike and I were just zooming around in the air, and so every time I found you, I was just like, hey down there.
And I'm like, what the heck? This sucks. So shortly after we did that BBQ session, I beat the game. I beat the DLC, whatever. I rolled credits on it, and then I was like, I must immediately go fly in Paldea. So I went to Paldea and I flew, and then I realized two things. One, the altitude. If you're any sort of high, you don't see any Pokemon, and it kind of sucks. Like it's really like I don't know. Immersion breaking is what I want to say, but let's be real. It's a Pokemon game. There's no immersion.
Man, you say that, but I was immersed in Legends Arceus, but you couldn't fly. You could fly in that game, actually. So never mind. Legends Arceus was great. Anyway, continue.
It was.
Sorry.
No, that's fair. That's very true. And then also, if have you flown into Mesagoza yet?
No. Oh God, I imagine that just
I had to see what it was.
The game loses it. Yeah.
So
what happens?
If you hit the bubble, I don't know if it's a bubble or like a cylinder straight up, but when you cross that threshold into Mesagoza, it stops you. It fades to black. And then it fades in where you walking into the nearest gate.
Okay.
So it's not it's not bad, but I was like,
that's just the game admitting, like, we know we can't handle this.
Yeah.
Like, teleport to the door, please. Like,
yes. So then in Mesagoza, I flew again.
Okay.
And then you can fly over the school. And I didn't realize, I guess you could have done this without flying. You can get to the back of the school. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just did that. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And there was something else that I triggered. It was something weird. I think if you are flying and you leave Mesagoza, you might just teleport back to where you started flying.
Okay.
There's something funky. That was also around the school, so I wasn't sure if that had anything to do with it.
Is Mesagoza really that much more intensive than like
any other city? Not a whole lot. Like,
I mean, there's only a handful of larger cities in the game, but like, yes. I'm thinking like the one where you fight Iono, like the streamer lady. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking of too. Because that's like the second biggest city. Uh,
It might just seem big because it has the billboards. I don't know,
but
but
it's also like two separate like peninsulas touching, kind of,
Right.
right? Like there's a weird geographical thing going on. So maybe they like spread it out enough where it's like, yeah, it's not that intensive. I don't know. Anyway, Meslagos is a treat. You should go fly over it right now. And then I have something that I'll save for the end of the when we do dive into spoilers. I have something else about flying that I want to mention, which I said in our Discord if you'll recall. But it's really cool.
Okay,
But
so
that's
let's just
later.
Can we say that spoilers is only story things, and we can talk about like general components of the DLC, like
Yeah, I think
mechanics
so.
and okay,
I think so. Like a lot of okay. So warning for listeners, viewers, etc. I think, my personal opinion, there's so much about the DLC that's already out in the open. If you're on Twitter, if you're listening to Pokemon podcasts, like let's be real, you either already know, have already seen it, or have already played it, right?
Yeah.
Like
most likely you've already beaten it because it isn't that much content, realistically speaking. Like,
and if we're going to talk about our opinions on the DLC, I do wish there was a little bit more in this one because, like,
I mean,
in
the
reality,
last one was pretty small too. Like,
and that's pretty fair, I guess. Like this one really is just beat the Elite Four.
yeah, across the world, but yes, yeah, it was four
Yes.
gym leaders that you can like speed run to.
Yes,
Like,
I did appreciate the challenges before because that
I
was like
appreciated some of them. The sandwiches pissed me off a lot.
okay. The sandwich was probably the worst one, which is also my first one.
Yeah, same. That's they tell they pretty much tell you the order is like this is the fifth strongest person. You probably go fight them first.
I didn't notice that until I was at the end. I think and then I saw oh yeah they're actually labeled. And then I like there's some story part where Crispin's
I mean,
like
I appreciated that because I've been replaying through Scarlet, or not replaying. I only played through Violet the first time, and then I've been playing through Scarlet just so I can get the exclusives from that version. I already own it for other reasons, but because I actually do collect a legit living dex on the side of my less than legitimate enterprises in Pokemon. So as I was playing through that, I realized like, oh god, I was in the plane. I did realize that there was free Wi-Fi, but for a second I was like, oh god, I don't know what order I'm supposed to do these in. And I was just, even in like an easy Pokemon game, if you go challenge the 8th gym when you're at the 3rd gym's level, like things go badly for you, right?
Yeah,
and there's 16 more than that. There's one for every type.
Yeah,
so I think 18 things to challenge,
gyms.
and they're just kind of they're not very like obviously linear. You have to just find where it is. So I appreciated them labeling that for me because everyone just Googled and found what they're supposed to go to next. Oh, that's a good point. Right?
Yeah, I forgot about that for the main game. Okay,
yeah.
True.
Okay, so anyway, I think as a VGC player, the thing that I think kind of the obvious thing that was really cool is that it's all double battles. This is Coliseum all over again, and that was so great.
Yes.
And it was ruined by the fact that they refused to do level scaling. Like,
yes,
even if you are not a VGC player who has level hundreds on everything, because that's the easiest way to just like put it all up to max and be done, right?
Yes.
But even if you're not a really sweaty tryhard, if you've just been playing the game for a while, your Pokemon are gonna be probably close to 100, and all of these are balanced like 70 to 80-ish was what I saw. I think, right?
I think, yeah, high 60s to low.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even look, right?
In that range, yeah.
And so my choices were either start a brand new team from scratch from the Wild Bonds with no EVs and random bad moves and slightly under level compared to the trainers, or use my level 100s, which is all I have in my boxes. So like that was kind of a feels bad. Like, and ultimately I just decided like I would like to finish the game and play Regulation F, so I'm going to just use my level 100s. And like it was so cool because they actually did use strategies. A lot of them had items. A lot of them had like actual synergies between their moves. There's
well-built teams, like you said. Most, not all of them had items. And then I think I want to know if they had EVs and IVs.
Like, yeah, that's an interesting one, right? Because like in BDSP they did, but that was made by a different company, so they were probably just like regular fans who wanted to have some fun with it. But like even if like they got so close, is just make them be the same level as my highest level mon. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
Or the same level as my lowest level mon. It would be the same for me because they're all 100.
Or average, but yes.
Sure, average. I
like any of those would work
Yeah.
to a degree, right? Like that's
Like,
the thing.
if I could cheese this by taking one level 5 in, I don't care. Fine, like give me that option. But like,
Sure.
I'm not going to. I just want to have like some amount of challenge instead of like, well, I brought Kyogre and Thunderous Therian and clicked Water Spout and Wild Bolt Storm repeatedly. Like,
oh my gosh, is that what you did for it? Yeah,
that was my favorite strat in there. But like, there was all kinds of nonsense. Like I had my like banded Dragonite e-speeding things and stuff too, right? Like,
yep.
Just whatever felt good.
Yeah, I wish I did that and was more prepared to do that, but I just picked a random 6 team. I picked a team that I like took to a local a few weeks prior, basically. It's like, I'll just run this, it'll be fine. And of course, like a hot knife through butter, you beat everything, right? No question. The most annoying part was the one gym that you couldn't use your Pokemon. Yeah.
I was actually excited about that because I was like, okay, you're going to balance it around the wild mons I found in the area. So that's great. Except all of the trainers I don't know if I'm saying for reference or not. And we were firmly in spoilers territory, by the way, now.
Yeah, I guess so. Really.
Sorry.
So I'm sorry or not, you know.
Yeah. You may leave in the next 5 seconds.
4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead.
Cool. That was really cool. There is a gym where they say you can't use your party. You can only use mons that were caught by you in the DLC area. Great. That's like a fun challenge. Let me run around and find a cool team. I found a Beldum, which was really neat. So I like had a Metagross really early.
I haven't done that yet.
And like threw some TMs on them, put like a cute little strategies together. That was fun. Except the Pokemon, like the trainers that you fight with the wild ones, only have 2 each in a double battle. And you're allowed to bring a full 6, and then once you beat them all and get to the gym leader, you're allowed to have your own mons back again.
Yes.
So I was like, what was the point of this? I don't know. It's just so close to being good, and in a lot of cases, they just kind of dropped the ball.
It at least made you definitely go do some catching and some training, right? Like you had to. That was nice.
Yeah.
And I said annoying earlier.
You did not have to train though. They were lower level than the wild ones. That's not entirely true. You can find some Pokemon in the terrarium that were lower level. Okay, but like I didn't even leave the snowy biome. I just looked around the area and was like, okay, let's get 6 things that are different types and call it a day.
Yeah. So the 2 of us and then Mike from Pokesports, we got together and we're doing a little barbecuing session right before I did this gym. So I had actually gone around, caught some Pokemon for the quests, and also just randomly caught Pokemon while the 2 of them actually got points. It was great. But so I had a variety I had some Pokemon from different parts of the terrarium, and I was not impressed, but like I had a level 50 that you found in the terrarium, which is like the lowest level that I've seen there. I'm like, wow, this kind of sucks. But it's actually one of the static encounters, because it was a Dragon Terra Seadra.
Oh, okay.
And it was level 50, and I'm like, I didn't realize until I was in a battle with it that it was so underleveled. I was like, okay, whatever.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I got the Beldum and Metang at level 60, and so I just gave it a single rare candy. It was a Metang, and I just gave it a single rare candy, and it became a Metagross, and that just kind of like cleared all the trainers.
I can totally believe that. Actually, I want to play a Metagross team. That's the next conversation.
Once we get into Regaf, that would be good.
Yeah. But yeah, so I had some stuff, and I went into it, and then it was fine. Like it was still a breeze. But it was a breeze that took a little longer to blow over than if I had just had my level 100s and I chopped everything with an Urshifu.
Yeah. So I was going to say, because we can talk about BBQs real quick. On that topic. So this is again another thing that I thought really good idea, really mid execution.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah.
So the fact that you can do it together is really cool. That compounds how much you grind for, which I'm not so sure I like how grindy it is. Especially even with a group, it can take you quite a while to grind enough to get enough points for everything in the DLC.
We had played for Was it an hour?
It was about I signed off after an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, because and Mike left shortly after you, so I'd say an hour, and we got I think 6,000 points.
Does that buy you everything or no? I don't think it does. Right?
No.
No, not even
So
close.
6,000. So each of the starters in the biomes, you have to unlock the starters in the biomes. So that's 3,000 each. So that's 12,000 for just those.
Okay,
And you
I
have the
already have all the
styles.
starters. And I already have all the legendaries, so I don't care about those. That's great.
Oh, nice. We have the throwing styles, the like gym leader stuff. The I forget what else is in my computer. Oh, the item machine, which I really want to play with, just so I can get some funky Pokeballs. That might be the easiest way to get like lure balls and level balls and moon balls, etc. So,
I know an easier way.
What is that noise?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm rubbing coins together. Is that
Oh, okay.
picking up on the mic?
I'm
That's
picking
weird.
it up.
Sorry,
I'm
I'm just kind of fidgeting. Sorry.
I thought it was like your cat or something. I'm like, what
clawing
is
things.
going on?
Yeah, no, he's I think I tired him out from all the laser pointer and stuff. So
Nice.
Yeah.
From 2 weeks ago's episode.
Oh no, it's every day. It's probably like every 20 minutes or so. Actually, he's I've created a monster now because he's actually fit enough to keep doing it for a while.
Hey, that's good though.
Yeah, I got what I was looking for, which is a less fat cat. Now he bothers me a lot.
Give and take.
It's cute. But yeah, so I think my big problem with the BBQs though was that there are like 5 quests you can do.
Yeah,
I stopped
such a
after an
small...
hour. Like I really enjoyed the novelty of playing with you guys and like seeing all this stuff pop up and all that. But oh my god, there are literally like 5 things you can do. There are like
pick up 10 items, sneak up on a Pokemon,
move,
catch a specific Pokemon,
which isn't an activity.
And then take a specific picture.
Yeah, and even the specific pictures are like something. It was
flying
for me. It was
swimming.
Always something swimming or flying. That was it.
Yes.
Those are the only 2 prompts I ever saw.
I think
so
that's
like
true.
Really cute idea. Just the execution was lazy. Like those are all fine. I just need like 30 more things that I could potentially do with my time, right? Like and maybe make some of them remotely challenging and not a chore. It felt like you were lining up chores for me to do, and I do them repeatedly forever.
That's a quest log, to be fair.
But quests in MMOs, and like, again, I just came from Baldur's Gate, so maybe my standards are high. But like quests don't have to be literally move from point A to point B or kill 10 boars. It is not 2000. It is not 2003 anymore. We don't need to be playing like the first iteration of an MMO.
10 auto battle wins is also one of them.
Which just like enjoy the really clunky controls as you spam your right trigger and like hope it goes in the right direction. And sometimes it goes in the right direction ish, but he kind of lands like to the side of the mon I want him to fight, and then I have to sit there and wait for him.
And then doesn't do anything. Yeah. Like, come on, Urshifu, go punch something, please.
Yeah. So
which I do want to try the synchro machine or whatever to see.
Yes, I actually haven't done that yet. So that there are some side things in the DLC I need to try still, and that's one of them.
Yeah, but I wonder because you can attack as part of that, so I wonder if that counts as an auto battle. Because then it's like, oh, synchro, go, blah blah blah, come back. Something that might be a move. Anyway, there's your potential tips and tricks. So
maybe if it works, but no guarantees. But yeah, it kind of smacks of Dynamax Adventures. Even worse though, because like Dynamax Adventures, it pretty much the same thing, right? Like a really cool concept was really fun the first however many times you did it, and after a while it became a dumb chore that you had to do. Like
yeah, that's very fair. It's I know they won't do this, and Game Freak, please prove me wrong, but like they're still going to push updates to the game. It's going to be like small patches, but maybe they can throw in more things like this. I don't know.
If they do another set of DLC, which I assume that the sales on this are really good. They were really good for Swish, and Scarlet and Violet base game sold even better than Swish. So I assume the DLC will also sell really well. Like the conversion rate is like insane, like 90% or something, or it was in Swish again, right? So I think it's totally in the realm of possibility that they might just say like, screw it, we can just shove out more content for this game and make a ton of money off of it with like minimal dev effort.
Yeah, I think that would be a smart business move, potentially.
I honestly, I hope they don't. Like Gen 9 has a bunch of these really cool ideas that they just didn't have the time to execute on, and I really pray that they've been like spending this time building more
I'm
foundations
with you.
for a good Gen 10.
I want Gen 10 to take Gen 9 and do it all better.
Like
right?
this is what we said when Gen 9 launched too, right? It's just like, you're almost there, guys. Just do it well. Like take what you did and make it not horrible.
We can't keep asymptotically approaching this line, right? Like, come on, like get there.
Very soon we will be at an acceptable video game from a decade ago. Like so I know I bring up Guild Wars a lot because it's one of like the 5 video games I play, but like the idea of flying through an open world. So again, I want to say that the base game for Guild Wars 2 came out in 2012. I was still in college. My back still worked. I didn't have a beard yet. Like, it was a long time ago. And I was a sophomore in college attempting to play this game on a crappy laptop, and it kind of ran on lower graphics. There are multiple flying mounts in that game that you can zoom around the map with incredible control and physics, and like when the wings flap, your griffin goes up, and then it goes back down again, and like you can dive and come back up, and it keeps momentum and everything. And people do these crazy like stunt videos of flying through tunnels and all that. And there are physics, and you can see the things on the ground from infinitely far away. It draws them the second that the thing is big enough to see it out in distance. This is a game from 2012 that ran on laptops from 2012. And we are now talking about a game that was released in 2022, and it.
Okay, but like, to be fair, you have a 3-year increase in hardware from laptop in 2012 to the Switch, which was using old hardware when it came out in 2017.
My laptop was bad in college. My parents didn't buy me many things in college. Like, a good gaming laptop was not on the list.
The Switch is a crappy 2015 Android phone.
Yeah, I know. But
I'll say high-end 2015 Android phone because it does have a full NVIDIA chip in it, but it's still an Android phone. For those of you who don't know, the Switch runs Android.
Like,
basically.
I don't know. Tears of the Kingdom. That's all I'm gonna say. Sorry. Like.
No. Now, to be fair, I wholeheartedly agree. I'm really playing devil's avocado here.
It's not like, and this is, by the way, an MMO that is syncing with hundreds of other players.
No,
and they don't stutter and they don't rubber band. You just see them move.
There really is no excuse for Pokemon to be as bad as it is. Like, let's be real, right? As much as
you still have fun for a while, because the end of the day is like, people there are good ideas, and it is an IP that all of us are like Stockholmed into loving forever.
That's true. And like, I want to go play. Like, I'm gonna be like, hey, Mocha, you want to go do some barbecues after this call, right? Like, that's gonna be the
if
words
I don't literally lose consciousness, I'm down. Yeah,
honestly, I might too. That's the story. But like, I want to do it again. Like, playing, doing those. Just not. We weren't talking. We weren't like on a Discord call. We were literally playing a single player game with each other at the same time in a shared-ish space, and that was enjoyable. Now, I don't know what that says about us or me. I'm the one saying it, but like, it was fun, and of course, lots and lots of points. I want more of the blubbery points. I don't know. Like, it's crappy, but still annoyingly enticing, right?
I that's pretty much where I am on it. Like, it is what it is. I hope it's good. I hope Gen 10 at least takes some cues from Legends Arceus, because like what you said about immersion, it's not like Legends Arceus looked good either. It looked bad, but like, at least in a lot of places it looked bad, but like, it ran really smoothly. You could see the mons from far away, and there was a sense of immersion. Like, when you saw that Rapidash with the glowing red eyes in the first area and you were sneaking up on it, you had a like, I don't want to make you edit this episode, but like,
cricketune noise.
Exactly. Yeah, like, I was alarmed. I was like, I better hide behind this rock and like avoid this thing. It's 30 levels higher than me, and it's huge. I'm like, and it roared and had animations and stuff that like looked scary, and it didn't stutter.
They've proven they can do more, even if that's
I don't know if that's a different team in Game Freak or what, but yeah.
I was wondering that too, right? Like, is it the and then so to the point of different teams, right? Like maybe they have a DLC team that can do DLC for Gen 9, and while hopefully the Arceus team is working on Gen 10 or something. That'd be great. And I don't know that I want more DLC for this game. Like maybe I think part of me does because it'd be cool to see more of it. And there's stuff at the end of this DLC that makes me think they could shoehorn some more story at the end if they really wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'll take more DLC if it means better, like more VGC content, right? But
And then
if
right?
I'm stuck playing Reg F plus Restricteds for 2 years while they make a good game, maybe that's rough, right? But for my desire to play a good single player Pokemon game, I definitely want them to just put it down on Scarlet and Violet after this.
Or if they would just use their time or use the DLC to actually make things better, that's also a great option.
It's really hard to sell. I kind of get it, because how do you sell a performance patch to people? At some point,
it would have to be hidden in a DLC, right?
Yeah, well, a lot of people's attitude, and I don't necessarily disagree with it, is this should have been in from the start. I'm not paying extra for you to make your game work.
Yes.
And like I personally would, frankly, I'll give you $10 if this thing suddenly starts running like it should be. But like most people wouldn't, and that is a very reasonable stance to take. So I don't think they could pull that off.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
it's like Scarlet and Violet $60, Scarlet and Violet, but it works $70. Like,
yeah, I think if they put out like a legit DLC, had more things, another little bit of story, and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, the game works now, that would probably be a fantastic selling point. And then people are like, oh, I'll pay $10 for 2 more hours of story in Pokemon, and the ability to catch Xerneas or something, right?
On.
Like,
yeah. We're not getting Xerneas because all the legendaries are dragons. That's
true. Yes. It's very true. There's no fairies coming in with this DLC.
Yeah, you got Fluttermane. That's it.
Well, I guess Whim, but not any offensive fairies and nothing new. So, but yeah. So I don't know. DLC's cool. The other,
I think the story was a lot of fun. We are long past the point of spoilers. So Kieran Kieran was as annoying as I expect him to be, and so like it was actually very amusing to destroy his life, I guess. And then
did you take a picture of him?
No, I forgot. I saw people doing it on Twitter later. It was
I got it. I should post mine.
You should make that your trainer card.
Oh, I should do that.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
I really enjoyed what's his name, the dragon guy.
I already forgot.
It starts with DRA, I think, something along those
Drayton.
lines. Drayton, yeah. I enjoyed like one character just being a blatant troll, like putting his head next to him, like squinting and saying X champion, right,
he
buddy?
Was so good. Like, okay, it's still a Pokemon game. It's still like bare levels basic, but like the writing and the characters in Gen 9 are all legitimate so good.
Dialogue and interaction between characters. They're getting there, right? They're figuring out how to write, and that's neat. I like that a lot. I enjoyed Karen becoming not insufferable. I've forgotten his sister's name now too. I've forgotten most of the characters'
Carmine.
Carmine, yeah. I enjoyed Carmine too. Like there's like the whole thing was fun. Like all of the Elite Four, like the one like robot lady was funny.
I really enjoyed it. I think the cool thing about the DLC, I've seen mixed takes on this online. But the DLC being split up into 2 parts and the story being overarching across those 2 parts, I mean, really, it's Carmine and Kieran's story, which I think is really cool. Because
that's definitely the one thing they did way better than the Gen 8 DLC. It's not just like weird, disjointed kind of adventures. Isle of Armor didn't have a story.
I think this was really good.
Yeah.
I like the way they did it. And that might be because also I played it in real time, right? So like I played it when I played this one when it came Kitakami when it came out, and then played this one right away. So like there was like a month and a half, 2 month, like, oh, it's so nice to see you again as you waltz up the Blipper Academy, and Carmine's like, oh my gosh, my best friend, or whatever. And then to have that sense of real time and then see like Carmine go from insufferable to acceptable, and then Kieran go from like friendly, shy to insufferable to
Acceptable, I
real
guess.
dick to, and then back to like, okay, fine, I'm Kieran again, right? Like that was kind of cool, because there's a time aspect to it too. But anyway, that's my
Yeah.
quick
No,
thoughts.
I definitely think they should if they're gonna do 2-part DLCs, they should definitely continue keeping the story consistent. Because like
Yes,
what Isle of Armor was, you go to a monastery and pick up Punchy Bear, and that was pretty much it. And
and
Crown Tundra
oh
kind of had a
yes,
story.
Crown Tundra was, hey, I'm an excited explorer, dude. Let's go explore excitedly. Also, there's a psychic
Deer thing, yeah.
deer thing with a horse that's dead in some way, shape, or form. Right? That's kind of
Yeah, it wasn't even
it?
really a story. Yeah, you're not wrong, actually.
Yeah, and go catch legendaries if you want.
I
And
think
also
we were
there's some
just
Regis.
excited. It might have just been COVID brain. Like my standards were low for entertainment.
Well, yeah, COVID brain with Pokemon. It's like yeah, woo. I don't know. I agree. I think I like this DLC more, and I like the format of it. I think if they do it like you said, I think they should do it again like this, right? Whether
Just get a little better. Like
yeah.
we're slowly getting there. By the time you and I are in nursing homes, there might be a good Pokemon game out there.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm so excited. We're playing Gen 25 now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my hands won't work well enough to play fighting games by then. So we're holding out for a good Pokemon game when I'm old.
At that point, it's like jack into your head so
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
experience the VR. I remember back in my
What
day,
voice
we
is
had to
this?
look at screens.
What voice is that?
I don't know. It's my old man voice. It works. I'm geriatric, don't you know?
I will come up with what this reminds me of. It's cool. I get it. I get it.
But yeah, like that's you're not wrong, because they're not gonna stop making Pokemon, right? So
Potentially
hopefully,
forever. Short of like Japan collapsing financially entirely. Like I don't think that they're ever going to stop. Yeah, you're right.
no, it's because it prints money, right? Like Pokemon prints money. So yeah, we can expect them to get to Gen 25 by the time we're in nursing homes, and then it's whatever video games are at that point. Man, I'm excited and scared of that, but that's a whole different discussion and existential.
Well, okay, so I'd like to take a moment to say we are about 40 minutes in. Do you want to switch over to Reg F?
I have one more thing about the DLC. Fly to the top. Fly to the top of the disco ball.
Oh yeah. There's stuff up there,
because you can
right?
do that. And I was like, as soon as I can fly, after I flew in Paldea, I was like, wait a second, there's an up. So I went to the top of the disco ball, and you can get 50 Stella shards, an ability patch, and like some other like relatively competitive thing.
I will say, okay, so I still think that you should just only need one to change your hair type, but the fact that they actually hand out shards a little more generously is nice.
It's everywhere, right? You can pick up like 15 to 26
it's still
shards.
I'll be ungrateful here and say it's still not enough. I still think you should like either there should be a unified currency that lets you change to any type, or it should be literally one shard per type change.
No,
like,
I agree. Like the thing with this, and we said it when the game came out, and we knew about this. Like they were doing so well with being able to like easily build Pokemon in game, and then with Terra they took several.
I literally like I saw that and I just instantly gave up on legitimately making teams. I was like. I was ready. It's like, okay, we're gonna grind XP candies and get a bunch of money so that I can get all the vitamins and everything, and be able to like pull just grab the base mon from my bank and like make it competitive. And then I saw the shards. Like, you know what? Never mind. I will just acquire them elsewhere.
Yeah, I will press buttons and get Pokemon. No, I mean it's terrible. Like I wish there were rumors that like, oh, they're gonna have like a showdown style.
Okay, so that's another thing too. Is like a bunch of the leaks ended up being just blatantly wrong.
Yeah. Like that Peachy Keen, which is not Peachy Keen, but I wish that's such a much better name than whatever it is. That's apparently a thing coming out at some point, but I think there's leaks about that, but I haven't looked into them.
Anyway, so on to Regath. And speaking of new Pokemon, right? So I think that we don't actually know what Regath is yet, right?
Correct.
We haven't gotten an official list of what is legal.
This drops on Thursdays like normal, and then 4 days later on Christmas, we find out what Regath is.
And then, like, sorry to the folks going to Portland, like, who have to go compete in a regional like a week later.
Yeah,
in
truly.
whatever format that happens to be. But I was going to say that I think that you can be fairly certain that this is going to be like just Reg E plus the new non-restricteds. But
Yeah, I think so.
the big question mark in my mind is the new paradoxes, the Johto and Unova trio, specifically because you, at least as far as I know, you can only get the two new ones, right? Like you can only get the Entei Raikou and
Cobalion and Terrakion.
yeah, you cannot get the Suicune and the Virizion because those were in a distribution.
So the distribution's coming back.
It is, but it's still a limited time distribution.
Right.
I would be kind of surprised. I mean, after the whole home debacle thing, maybe I shouldn't be surprised. But I'd be kind of surprised if they had a format where Mons were legal that were limited time availability. Like you have to go online and play with other people in this 1 to 2 week span in order to get a Mon that is probably meta relevant is kind of wild.
So they don't I don't know. I haven't done them yet. I don't have the
Walking Wake and whatever.
No, I have Walking Awake and Iron Leaves, but where does it go? I have those. But I don't have the 4 new ones yet. So I actually don't know how you get them. How do you get them?
They're in the DLC at the end. I've forgotten now too. I haven't bothered to get them yet either.
Okay.
But
I'll look it up.
They are in, and I don't, but like you said, I think those are just event ones. So, and then if they decide that those are not legal, do you make the rest of the trios legal? Because it's kind of weird if you had 2 trios that were only 2/3 legal.
Yeah, I agree because that does not make a lot of sense. Wow. Yeah. Okay. That's okay. So Walking Wake. I'm looking at Cerebi. Walking Wake says transfer from home or obtained from event. So yes, that's fair. That's still evented. What's the other one? Raging Bolt. Where do you live?
Say I love Raging Bolt. The design is so good.
It's so good.
I already knew the design was so good, but I also love playing with it.
What did he do to get in the Kono Shame?
He hit you with a base 70 special priority move. That thing Oko's bundle even when it tears away from being weak to it, which I love.
It just exists in Area 0? They're just wild?
Apparently. I haven't gotten them yet, so maybe.
Huh. That's what it says. It just says Area 0. So maybe that makes sense in retrospect because that's what the other paradoxes are.
Maybe in like the base, like the lower area where we found the turtle.
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't been back there. So.
If you can even return there, I don't even know. Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering if you could go back down to the depths. I'd hope so because it really seemed like the.
It looked like a full map. I didn't bother exploring it. I just kind of did the story content that was there. But yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot past this. There was wait, there was a hidden path that you didn't unlock normally. Ooh, I have to go back there now. I know exactly where that is. Oh look. But yeah, so that's all things. They're in Area 0, I guess, which makes sense.
Yeah. But anyway, those are really fun to play with. I think that Raging Bolt has been really fun for me to experiment with. I think it fits really nice. I mean, we've been so like living in fear of Tornadus Urshifu, right?
Yeah.
And suddenly we get the Mon that doesn't care about speed and Oko's Urshifu with priority. Like that's pretty cool. And unfortunately, it also just goes really well next to Tornadus and Urshifu. As it turns out.
I was going to say the same thing. Like,
which is exactly what I've been playing on ladder.
Yeah.
It pairs really nicely with Incineroar because I kind of have been viewing it as the special version of King Gambit, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
It doesn't get a Defiant boost, right? That's whatever. But it has a great defensive typing. It has it has literally Sucker Punch, but special. And while it doesn't get Defiant, it doesn't care about Intimidate, so that's fine too, right? And it doesn't get Swords Dance, it gets Calm Mind. That's not quite as good either. I was really hoping the thing got Nasty Plot. That would have been wild. But like, still, it has a lot of parallels to it. It loves just sitting next to a mon that can click fake out, and then it either blasts you or priorities you. Um, it's been a lot of fun to play with. The other one that I think is a real standout is Iron Crown. Like, it's
Yeah.
potentially the better size spammer than, so Hatterene got expanding force back, which makes size spam scary.
It does.
But also Incineroar plus Rillaboom kind of invalidates size spam as an archetype, so I'm not sure where that one goes. But the cool thing about Iron Crown is that it gets to do fast size spam.
Right.
It's not that slow. The expanding horse, credit to Bruno.
That's so good.
Right?
That is so just.
But the one
Good
thing
job,
it is
Bruno.
scared of is, again, Incineroar, who's brand new to the formats, because immune to Psychic, and its
Yeah.
signature move is a dual-hitting Steel move that Incineroar also resists. So that's rough, but that means you want to play it on a fast team, so you just put it next to Urshifu Tornadus
I
again.
was gonna say something else, right? I think the nice thing about Iron Crown, right, having done very little playing and very little experimentation with it, I feel like because it can do the things it does fast, it doesn't have to be on a Trick Room team
In
like
fact, it
normal.
probably doesn't even want to be.
Probably not, which is great because now you have more flexibility with what you pair it with for the rest of the team.
Exactly. So like the issue is that you have standard Trick Room Size Spam is so vulnerable to Incin Rillaboom because Incin's immune to the psychic attacks, and it takes the fairy stuff neutrally, it resists the fire moves from Armor Rouge. And then Rillaboom comes in and kills your terrain, and then they can both fake you out and parting shot, U-turn, and do it all over again, right? But you don't really, and then you don't. None of the things that go on a standard slow Trick Room team really want to fight either of Incineroar and Rillaboom either. Like Torkoal, I guess, kills Rillaboom, but Incin kind of laughs at it a little bit.
Right.
So, and especially if you can pull in your Grassy Train and fake it out one turn and get some damage on it, so it can't full power Eruption. But you don't really want to put it on a team with Water Urshifu. Like Water Urshifu doesn't really fit on slow
Right.
Trick Room either, but it definitely does on Tailwind teams. So yeah, I don't know. I think that Iron Crown might end up being like the better size spam user, like the poor man's Calyrex S.
Yes, that's very true. Yeah, I'm excited to see how that plays out. I was excited. Shockingly, I was excited for the same two Pokemon of these four friends coming in.
Yeah.
I like the idea of Paradox Entei, whatever it's called, and I
have seen
Protect
some
Burn.
cool stuff about it. Yeah, so the Protect Burn, I saw someone doing like a setup build with it that was pretty neat also. But I haven't looked too much into Gouging Fire is the Entei one, and Iron Boulder is the Terrakion one. I haven't looked at those as much. I don't think they're quite as much standouts. But yeah, having a Protect that burns you is kind of wild.
I do
Burning
also
Bulwark.
love Gouging Fire's design.
I can't decide how I feel about it.
He's a good boy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I was expecting to go full Triceratops. The head is so.
The head is so
tall.
dumb. I love it. It's tall, but like it's not the same kind of cool tall as Raging Bolt. It's a different kind of tall, but I'm here for both talls.
Yeah, but a 100% burn on Protect is actually pretty scary, right?
That's insane.
The only problem is that the one mon that it wants to use its move on kills
doesn't
through
matter.
Protect.
Yes.
Like I was just thinking, like, oh man, it would be so great if you protected and burned Urshifu. Wait,
You know what you can do with it? You can
Wheezing.
trick. Oh, that's even better. I was gonna say trick a punching glove onto it, but then it doesn't get contact from the burn
man,
anyway.
that's so much spice.
But it doesn't get burned. Still, it just protects
Does that not?
because punching glove negates contact.
Is Raging Bulwark only contact?
Oh wait, is it only contact or does it just?
Yes,
It
would make
burn if
contact.
it makes physical contact.
Okay,
that's amazing.
Okay, so no, do not trick the punching glove onto
No,
Urshifu.
I want to see someone do this, please, for me.
But-
Make me so happy.
or someone do it just for Harrison. But
Yes.
Wheezing Burning Bulwark could be sauce. I might be coping right now.
That's you're not huffing in that neutralizing gas. You're huffing in that copium for that.
Yeah, just random off. Like they, did you see what they did to Weezing right before San Antonio?
No, what?
They made it so that neutralizing gas affects photosynthesis and quark drive,
Oh
and it
yeah,
did not prior to
yeah.
that. So that was a whole archetype. Like, Booster Roaring Moon plus Weezing was just a team that you could lead those two into like half of the metagame and do really well into them. And
Yes.
suddenly, there's just like a week before the DLC comes out, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, we made some like you can't use any of the new stuff, but we also made balance changes to some of the old stuff. Enjoy. I hope you hadn't built around that. Cough. A bunch of people had. Like,
Oof. Yeah. I did see that, and then I forgot that was I forgot San Antonio, which I think we're forgetting San Antonio completely.
I think that San Antonio was really cool to see. Like I watched some of the games, but it was really hard to care that much because it was in an old format. Like
Okay, yeah.
every game on stream was such a banger. There's so many just matchups that were just two well-known players playing out of their mind, and I'd love to see Raghav make finals and all that. But
yeah, Raghav made finals. Oh, yeah, nice with the Clefairy.
Yeah, he was the only Hisuian Arcanine player too. Hisuian Arcanine did not complete the Reg D and E sweep, unfortunately.
Oh no!
Fell short by one event.
The goodest of boys.
But yeah, Joe used Riley's signature team and did a little better than him, which was kind of wild too. And then Z, Justin Tang, and Jody all played exactly the same team.
Yeah. So if you look at the top 8 on Victory Road here, it's like. So, okay.
Turns out Fire Ogerpon, not bad. Water Ogerpon, also not bad. The Ogres came back in the end. Reg E kind of redeemed itself in the final tournament that nobody watched.
I'll give you that, yeah. But it is funny, though, because we have a maybe bad habit of saying, this looks like a standard regulation team, right? And then, except for this most recent, like, all of Reg E, yeah, all of Reg E, it's been wild. It's been great. And then you come to this tournament, it's like, they all look the same again. Why am I so sad? And then you realize that's because 5 of them have the same 5 Pokemon because they all team built together.
They all
played the exact same team.
They either built together or copied off of someone else in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, okay, sure, yes, fine. You can have this one. But then you have Raghav with a Spicy Clefairy, and that's pretty cool. And then Giovanni Costa with a Farigirafs. And both of them had Water Pond. So Water Pond took the finals, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So seeing Ogre come back at the end, I think it's going to definitely have a role in Reg F as well.
F.
Okay, by the way, I hadn't looked at Iron Boulder until just this moment. I don't know why. Like, it just kind of like escaped my notice. Its base stats are fine, like good but not amazing. Base 120 attack, base 124 speed, so that's nice, and like middling defenses. But its signature move is Mighty Cleave, and it is a base 90. It is a 95 BP, 100% accurate move that bypasses Protect. It is Mini Urshifu, Mini Rock Urshifu.
Oh, and it's Rock. That's cool. That's a Rock type move that does high damage and hits through Protect.
And doesn't miss, which is a really hard thing to find for rock moves. We were just saying like that.
It has 5 PP.
8. So does Surging Strikes, right?
Oh yeah, fair point. Okay,
but it doesn't auto crit, so you know.
Yeah, but if you give it a Scope Lens, Dragon Terra, and what's the other thing? Dragon's Cry.
Oh god, Yeah, the new. It's like a new Howl for crit rate or something.
It's for crit rate, and it goes 2 stages if it's a dragon. So if you hold Scope Lens, then you are at max crit.
There's a lot of silly new stuff in Reg F that I need to learn about before we talk about it on the next podcast. But yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty excited. I'm excited for Reg F. I'm excited because I mean we have Charlotte coming up. So like our first my first. You already played this season, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I've played a decent. I did one. I've done 2. I've done Pittsburgh and Toronto.
Okay, yes. So my first major for this season, Charlotte's coming up. So that's Reg F. I got to start really trying again. I fell out of the liege to a really good player. Like I can't even I can't even be like, I didn't care. No, it's he played great. Definitely outplayed me, and I have recorded, so those will hopefully show up on the channel here soon-ish, whenever I get to editing those. But two Liege matches, but like there was a part of me that was like, I kind of want to not play Reg E because Reg F is right there. Which is, I mean, that's not the point. The point is to play, and I did. But still, I'm so excited to play this and see what comes out of what is it, Oregon? What's the first?
Portland is the first one.
Yeah, Portland,
Oregon. Portland is the first week of January. Something in Europe the second week of January, and then Charlotte the third week.
So we have two.
You're gonna have two regionals to look at, to copy from, to learn from.
And then all the time between now and then. So that's. I mean, we're getting there. We're getting there. Where's where? What was I looking? I had a thing but lost it. That's fine. But yeah, so
call it an episode here.
By Reg E. Yeah, I think it's an episode. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say, so this episode drops on the 21st. Because of how holidays are shaping up, I'm going to presume that we might not have an episode next week.
I suspect that's going to be the case. I'm not a particularly devout person, but I like Christmas lights, and I will probably not be recording anything on Christmas Day. So,
well, that's the 26th is our normal recording time. So
sorry, I'm on account of being British, I celebrate Boxing Day. I can't do it.
You wanna go? You wanna box? No, I'm totally with it. Like, unless I don't know, I'm gonna say don't count on an episode. But if there is one that pops out, it'll be short, sweet, and special bonus fun nonsense.
Yeah, there's a chance I'll have put down a bunch of eggnog and maybe I'll want to talk some Cricketune with you guys. But
we should do that at some point, Captain's Corner or whatever.
I'm gonna start incorporating Cricketune into my vernacular.
Yeah. Okay, I like it. This is very good. I'm glad
no one's gonna get it, and it's kind of a mouthful.
Not
but
a
it's fine.
Single person. But yeah, that's the housekeeping part of this. And since that's probably gonna be the case, thank you all for another year, and by that I mean calendar year, not year of episodes. 2023 has been fun.
It's been a time.
It has been a year. It's been a year of all time. One of the years of all time. But yeah, let's close it out. Let's do the thing.
I've got nothing to plug. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Do it. Okay. I was gonna say I have nothing to plug, but you've been doing some streams recently, so.
Yeah, I did. Oh, yeah, I did. Okay, so let's do that. I'm Harrison. You can find me at @row_Ixon on all the things, and I streamed on this channel and also on my Twitch the other day. That was really fun. I might do more of that. That was kind of testing stuff out hardware wise, but it worked. And who are you?
I am Rowan. I will not say the syllable that you're waiting for, but I had a fun time. That's it.
Perfect. And we have been the Game Corner. You can find us at Game Corner VGC, all the stuff down below, all the stuff that I normally say. And thanks to RobKTA for the use of the theme song Goldenrod Game Corner off the Ultraball album. And that's it. So until next time or next year, press start and game on. Bye.